Scorpio twin flames, welcome back for your mid-month reading. Those of you who are new, a very warm welcome. If you haven't watched any of the other videos, I have done one for the beginning of the month, so feel free to go through and look at that, as well as I do a toolkit for your twin flame movement through to have an awareness of anything spiritually I feel you can do to assist in union, to assist with you spiritually moving forward, and to help anchor in and ground you through any transitions we're physically going through. Now, refer back to that. Also, you can join us during the workshop times, which is every second week. So a week from this video being released, I will be back here again to touch base with you. Also, I do come to you live for any psychic downloads that I do get within the twin flame path. I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin flame. Bookings, the link is directly below. Click on it and it'll take you through to the website, as well as if you do want to follow me on my other channel, it's called YILDIZ Readings. The link will be within inside the box. And I cover your general reads, you know, coming to you with any aspects of transits going through as well, and how to directly deal with the general energies, as well as love readings. Okay, you've got an interesting mirroring going on between you and your twin. Now, it can be energetically, this is more for those of you going through the transition. Again, there can be energies and undertones if you are in direct contact and communication with your twin. So place the energies energetically where you are. It depends again on what wave you are, as well as if, how do I put it? If you've moved through aspects of spiritual blocks, you might be more advanced and it might need to be more specialized. As well as if you are in contact, the energies can be in a subliminal kind of meditation stance, viewpoint of leaving past energies behind. Now, the energy of what's coming through, both of you may be dealing with an energy of a karmic. Now, it doesn't mean to say you're with a karmic, but it's past tense frequencies being dissolved. Some of you can be in a connection where you're thinking you're not quite feeling the frequency, and you're thinking back to your twin flame connection. The energies directly can swap as well, but it does feel as though there is a transitional state you're physically going through depending on your 3D situation. Some of you also may be thinking or entertaining an idea of a connection and taking it to the next level, very separate to your twin flame, but I'm feeling it's more a direct connection you're having. You know, for those of you who that's relevant. Others of you, it might be the connection you're meditating upon with your twin flame, and you know how you would like it to be and where you're feeling the flaws within it, because you've got the marriage card, right? Moving in, you've got the marriage card coming up. This can be connected to your twin flame journey, but separately, there can be an undertone of a situation you're looking at and you're thinking, I'm just not seeing the consistency in it. Regardless, you're looking at collective energies of connections, and where perhaps in your mind something was a lack. But directly speaking, there's always the mirror. So is there something we can be doing, or is there something in a sense that you've evolved and this spiritually doesn't feel in alignment with you? So it can be the waiting for that to catch up with twin to a place where it's balanced in a more harmonious fashion. Now, they're having to deal with a lot of strength in their life in relation to their frequency being lower, or another individual who is directly connected to them, but they're reflecting back over their life. You might be towards a situation you're currently dealing with, be in a very critical state that it's a very frustrating, suppressive energy, and it's almost like you're praying and hoping you're going to get communication. But it's almost like it's allowing you to be in that frequency to gain the clarity very separate to your twin flame in a 3D notion of what you're currently going through. So really, when we do talk of energies of what we're needing to learn, what we're needing to purge to bridge that gap to union, it is about what's going on in your 3D life as much as what is going on within the connection. But you do have power within it, but anything that's being shown to you that spiritually is not in alignment with where you feel you should be, dealing with that work, even if it looks like a mountain, even if it's one step a day, it's still one step in your correct direction. But I feel you're dealing with something at the moment that you feel isn't balanced, either meditation connected to it, but changing it around to a point you look at what you can do only, and allow the frequency to align correctly. You know, your twin at the moment is really stuck as well. So you're aware of what needs to change, and you can be quite frustrated about this, and it can be causing trigger points in an egoic sense. Very brash communication. This can be towards you, but I'm feeling it's more you're frustrated. They're directly in the same placement, feeling very bored and stagnant as well. And they're directly not enjoying the 3D notion of what's going on. So this stuck energy you're currently both experiencing in your own separate lives in a 3D level, or, and I'm feeling really it's your 3D lives. I don't feel it's together. It may be coming through in fashions from connections around you to mirror that back to you of where you have power and where some sense of an action needs to be taken. For you, you feel this is going to take a lot. But again, that can be the energy of lack mentality of, gee, I have to move that mountain. Try not to look at the magnitude of the situation, because it's like we're manifesting upon manifesting. Try and look at it as a very practical thing of, okay, what would it take to get movement to come through? The universe is also showing you that you're not happy in some shape or form. So it's like universe is asking you, if you're not happy, could you do something to change that frequency? Very external to connections in general. What actually, it's almost like allowing yourself to feel the frequency of what makes you feel happy without apologizing for it. There can be a push and pull dynamic, and you can be looking at other people and saying, hey, you know, why are they having these connections where they're quite balanced? But it's really false. It's more, you know, if you're looking at situations and you're thinking, gee, you know, why can't I have that? Change that around and realize you can. 9 times out of 10 when we're in that frequency, it's directly because we feel we have no power. Having the tools in order to gain that power back and to take the bull by the horns, which is interesting because there's this undertone of Aries coming through. Again, look at the workshop that I'll be holding every second week, as well as when it does come down to the astrology and the toolkits per month, you will have that there to actually utilize to help you move through your blocks. It can be an aspect of the astrology coming through that's really making you want to take some sense of power back in your life to gain control. You're really wanting the power back. This is like, it feels like it's a very suppressive energy. It's like, I can't do this anymore. Something's not aligned. You're needing to be your own best friend right now. Interestingly enough, it can make you feel, especially with the with K2 being in pad 4, which that's more connected to Vedic astrology. There's styles of astrology you can look at, and for some reason I've been directly attracted to aspects of Vedic astrology. K2 or Rahu is going to be in Cancer. Now, this is through till March, which is all family-related dynamics. And again, I will go into the information within your actual info kit that you can use during the month, each month. That's from January onwards. Then in March, we do move into pad 3, which is Gemini frequency, which again is connected to twins. But again, I'll go more into the frequency very separately to that, more at a astrological aspect of things of how it's going to directly impact you. It can be that you're realizing you're looking at this 3D situation of what you're in, because it's the block 2 union. Although we do come to a stalemate in situations, it can be your mindset looking at your twin, or it can be the 3D situation of what you're particularly going through right now. Anything that blocks us, sometimes we're directly wanting confirmation from universe, and then we get it through signs and synchronicities. And it's what I always say, we get 3 warnings from universe. And being that K2 is doing a transit which is connected to karma, balancing out situations, this is here all the way through till after July. And most of the planets are going retrograde mid-year, and it's when we're having pockets of eclipses as well. So we've got them in January and during the middle of the year and then the very end of the year. So it's really showing us energetically what we need to change with all we've learned in the last 3 years, giving us the tools to do that and really asking us to have courage to walk in our truth. you're looking at it thinking if there's no teamwork, you're wanting to work with the situation, but you're willing to work with twin. So it's balancing out the spiritual choice you're having to what way to go regardless of communication or no communication. It's really got you up in your head. Part of it, the block is directly within self. A lot of times when we're wanting something, we're thinking because we haven't got the clarity externally from ourselves, we can't shift our energy in that direction, which in general, whatever your truth frequency is, which is very important that we have an hour a day. If you can't have that, grab 15 to have some light energy come through, which is sun energy, to balance the egoic state, but here within the daylight what your thought processes are without any white noise, and to also do some moon energy work, which is at the obviously the full moon to the new moons, which is manifesting and releasing anything that you're wanting, taking stock of where you are in order to move forward. I'm feeling you're spiritually hit a snag. You were moving quite freely, but it's like it's just really lagged you back. Let's have a look at your twins and we'll come back to your side. As I said, they're trying to have the inner strength and they're meditating upon where perhaps they didn't use their power. They're also in stagnant frequency, similar to what you're feeling. And is this going to move? You know, but it's again, it's both energies looking outside, thinking, waiting for the threatening nature of situations to change in order to shift directions. It can be that they're dealing with contracts and legalities at the moment, connected to a partnership they were loyal to, or connected to a job or a karmic frequency, something they were loyal to, but really trying to tie that situation up. Now, this can be employment related, location related, but it feels contractual. It can be at a karmic level, it's contractual. But they're no longer desiring it. They're really wanting to tie up these loose ends. It's not filling their needs any longer. They're feeling the frequency if they're wanting something new, okay? They're wanting a new way of doing things. They're hoping that things are going to change by them having a different attitude moving forward. So they've had their epiphany moment and they're looking at it differently. But look, the vulnerability is the direct notion of addressing the blocks internally in the egoic state they physically have. They're chained, they're stuck, but they're actually not. They're in a mental prison, which is probably why you're feeling the frequency on your side very heavy. Energetically, we do tend to mirror each other. It may be that your twin is in a karmic connection, but you may also be in a connection as such. But it's almost like we're trying to justify, and it's not that it's right or wrong. If it spiritually feels incorrect to you, then that's your incorrect. That's what K2 is. It's like, what is your truth telling you? You know, really asking you to be truthful to yourself, honoring yourself, doing the internal spiritual work. On this side, counterparts energy feels they're stuck. They don't want to be in that frequency. Now, as we transform, twin transforms. Even if we don't see it, it's almost like, I think they did a test situation on children, and it was from a psychological point of view, and they gave each child a treat. And with that treat, they actually said to the child, if you can wait half an hour or till the end of the day, and I think it was a chocolate bar, we will give you 3 chocolate bars instead of having the one. Each child looked at their chocolate wrapper. Many actually, and from a psychological point of view, the aspect of instant gratification is ingrained in us because it's like we desire, we wish to have, we take, and then we move the goalpost. Then we're wanting the next thing and the next thing. But it's like if we actually know we could recreate that chocolate bar, and we could attain that chocolate bar by our own means of moving forward, we would actually walk towards it because we were earning it. So it's like this block spiritually, you're both feeling that in the past, some frequency has been downloaded to the both of you, and it may have been from family, where to risk was too risky and it wasn't allowed. So it's almost like you're going back over an old frequency, saying don't do that, that's too risky. But it's feeling like it's not in alignment with your spiritual self. So it's like you're having a war with your soul at the moment. They're really wanting to free themselves from a situation because they're feeling squashed. They're feeling very suppressed in an energy that doesn't feel directly connected to them. Now, what I'm seeing through in the joint energy between you is in life in general, both of you have experienced the dynamic of people betraying you, people letting you down. Both of you have felt like you've had to use a lot of your masculine energy, you know, not having a guide as per se, and there has been a lot of enemies around you, so it does make you both super cautious. This can be meditation on past, depending on where you've evolved to spiritually. So it's connected to enemies of the past, people who have let you down. Now, although you feel blindfolded, you do have the actions. And again, this is moon frequency. And the interesting thing is, even tuning into the hope, the picture on the card looks like a sunset at the background. It's moon and sun energy, which is masculine and feminine energy becoming balanced. It's like, yes, at times it might be a key figure in your life had not been there, and then direct relationships of that same sex may have let you down, or the opposite. Where, for instance, masculine, father figure not there, just an example. Doesn't mean to say that every male in their life would let them down. If anything, they probably are more inclined to have better male relationships. But then the relationship they can end up having is directly with a female figure who treats them less. It's almost like they're purging parents' karmic cycles. So what I'm being shown is an energy similar to such. It's like it's a learned energy, but it's sun and moon, and it feels you've had to use one aspect of yourself in order to cope with these people in your life that have really, you know, put you in the blinder. Both of you are concerned that if you do attempt to communicate, it's too dangerous, that there will be conflict and gossip. So pause in communication is due to this fact, because there's some situations that are being tied up, and it can be even at a financial level. You're both concerned of losses financially, or you or them both might be learning something through this process, or directly have children involved. You're moving through an aspect of recuperation, and when I'm hearing recuperation, I'm actually feeling more, not in pain body experience, but more, okay, how do we tackle this? Really having the aha, really the 3D notion of what's coming through for you is showing you that you don't feel as abundant as you should. And I feel the meditation is going to be quite key to helping you gain some insight into what to do from here. I do feel there's movement with this situation though. Okay, so, you know, picking up the pieces and moving forward, the recuperation, gathering your thoughts, mulling over the situations, but picking up the pace and recouping what you have left after the fact, not in pain body experience, and realizing that, again, while you're going through that transformation, there's a pause in communication. This can be in relation to people separately who have betrayed you, in a spiritual connection, and I'm feeling it could be with twin, but I'm very much hearing separately, and that moving through that journey has changed the both of you. But I do feel movement towards, it may be you, Scorpion, towards them, which is strange, but that's what it's feeling. And they're in a better frequency. It feels like a peace offering in some shape or form, or genuinely coming through in a lighter frequency. And concerned is their hope. I don't have a bad energetic feeling. I feel you're both in the same predicament. Some of you may actually have contact. In relation to a karmic cycle ending, a younger child for some of you, and again, movement. There's movement in some shape or form. Something may have come to light around Christmas, either intuitively, emotionally, spiritually. You might have even had a download at a psychic level within your twin flame journey, and it's confirming yes. Also, I'm being shown somebody who's unwell. Now, this might have been around the time an aspect of your ascension symptoms were coming through just prior to a celebration season, and it might have made you unwell, but it could actually be news. You might also be discussing aspects of what is going to work, what doesn't work, even just in a meditation stance, but it's going to surprise you some of the revelations that are going to come through. What else am I seeing? I feel you're both just on the tip of really cracking. Now, the cracking isn't due to the fact that you can't handle the situations. I feel it's really sheer frustration. Sheer frustration that some of you may have wished that, gosh, you know, why did this have to turn your world upside down? Some of you. But it may be not just old frequency. I am feeling there's a current 3D area going on at the moment within your own personal life. Some of you may be thinking, do I wait any longer? And it's not that you ever should be waiting. Open to a situation, yes, but always putting one foot in front of the other, definitely. I don't feel you have an interest at the moment in jumping, and that's on both sides because of something going on, but you definitely are really reaching that point in the direct situation that you're currently dealing with. It can be with family members. That you just, being in that energy is helping you liberate yourself. But I do feel after that shifts, and I feel it's your mindset, your frustration in it. Can't even be just tuning into previous energies. I feel you're going to liberate yourself from the situation, and there is going to be movement. I will see you during the month. Obviously, check the other videos as they come through. Click the bell. And you will get notified. Otherwise, I'll see you on the other side.